Hello and welcome to That's Football. This is your Premier League preview show weekly, talking about the Premier League, interacting with you on what you think is going to happen this weekend and how impactful it's going to be for your team and the Premier League in general. Manchester United currently leading the way in the Premier League with 9 points. Huddersfield, I believe, second place. Yes, joint second place with Liverpool, Manchester City and West Brom 2 points behind Manchester United. And what a place to start, really. Manchester City at the first game of the Premier League weekend. Manchester City hosting Liverpool at the Emptihad. Big game. Who's the favourites in that one? I'm not convinced that Manchester City have had that good a start. I mean, that Bournemouth game was a joke, assisted by Mike Dean. Bournemouth deserved at least a point from that, and that would have Man City 5 points behind United on 5 points. Liverpool, fairly impressive, but having said that, they have played Arsenal at home, and Arsenal do let you come at them. And, you know, the plan A that Klopp basically builds his whole season around, he doesn't really have a plan B. If a team goes and has a go at Liverpool, it's there to be won, and I certainly think at the Etihad, Manchester City will have to go at Liverpool. So Liverpool certainly aren't out of that equation. I hope we see a repeat of that chance that Lallana missed, and Firmino last season was sliding off like he'd scored, and then they realised he hadn't. But I think 2-1 Manchester City is what I'm going to go with that. I think City will get over the line, but they're not convincing, and Liverpool are certainly the form side in that at the moment. Breach69 says it will be 2-1 to Liverpool, but John Smith says Manchester City will win. If you're new to That's Football, make sure you click the hologram in the bottom right hand corner, subscribe and click that bell for notifications. This is our new generic football channel where we'll be talking about everything to do with football, Premier League previews. We've got a Serie A preview coming up on Saturday. The world of football generally, watch-alongs, all sorts of things going on, big football news, we'll be reacting to it, daily show at 7 AM, loads going on. If you love football, you're going to love That's Football. So, we've done Manchester City versus Liverpool. Theon Curtin says that, well, Theon Curtin's been very accurate. If you get on this, he says Man City 0, Liverpool 1, Mane to score in the 67th minute, but Jones, Stephen of the Jones, says it'll be 2-2. What else have we got? Saturday afternoon, we've got Arsenal playing Bournemouth. There's some cracking games. Arsenal versus Bournemouth at the Emirates. We've got Brighton versus West Brom. Everton Spurs, that's a cracker as well. Leicester Chelsea and Southampton versus Watford. What a set! What a game! What a way to bring the Premier League back. Actually, I'll certainly be watching a lot of this. So you've got City, Liverpool at 12:30. You've got Everton playing Spurs, Leicester playing Chelsea, and Arsenal playing Bournemouth at 3 o'clock. As well as, let's not forget, Brighton and West Brom and Southampton v Watford. But let's have a look at that then. Arsenal got to win that game effectively. They have Arsenal currently got 3 points from 3 games. That is shocking. And Bournemouth themselves got no points. Very unlucky against Manchester City. Would you fancy Bournemouth to beat Arsenal? I think the safe money, as bad as they've been playing, I do think surely everybody we're going to go for an Arsenal win. Wouldn't be surprised if they won that 3 or 4-0, but I certainly think Arsenal will get over the line. It'd be interesting if Bournemouth can keep it tight, because the Arsenal fans will get restless. They are a long way off everybody else already. Robbie Jones says a Bournemouth win would be classic. I thought it was Robbie off the Arsenal fan TV. I'm sure. No, I know Robbie does support Arsenal, but you know what I mean. Arsenal fan TV do benefit from Wenger, that's for sure. Red Prepper says West Brom will beat Brighton. Well, that would put West Brom up on 10 points. And I did say this on the show I did this morning about the top 5 Premier League managers. I put Pulis in at 5 because of what he's done in the Premier League. But they've bought really well. They've got a good 11. And if they were to beat Brighton on Saturday away from home, then that would put them on 10 points. And I wouldn't be surprised if that broke them into the top 4. Everton Spurs is a cracker. An absolute cracking game that is. Will Rooney play after his recent drinking issues? Will Spurs bounce back from a couple of bad results? Started the season really well, winning away from home, but that Wembley voodoo, 1 point from 6, losing to Chelsea, drawing with Burnley, they're away to Everton. Both teams have got 4 points. Will Everton win? Will Spurs win? I personally think Spurs will win it. I think Spurs are a very good team. I think they're just hamstrung by the fact that they are having to play at Wembley, and that will inspire their opposition. I think Spurs will win this. I think Spurs away from home will be much like last season, a very, very good team. But Everton are much improved as well. We speak about West Brom there and how well they've bought. Well, Everton, you could say, have bought even better. The trouble is, as a Manchester United fan, you know, I sort of spoke about it this week. If Rooney was still a United player, there'd be a big media circus round our club because of what's happened. Will that media circus undermine Everton? They've got Sigurdsson. Will Rooney even play? I'll have to wait and see. I'm going to go for Spurs winning that game. Let's have a look. I think Spurs will smash Everton, says Abdullah Saeed. If West Ham lose again, is that it for Bilic, says Sophie Richards. We'll have a look at that. We'll have a look at that. I believe in Everton that game, says Andy Pandy. We should give Lukaku a rest to be 100% against Basel, says Joey Johnson. We're not even there at United yet, mate. 1-1 between Everton and Spurs, says Abalash. And Huddersfield will have 10 points after this week, says Stu H. Well, we'll come to them as well in a minute. And Crazy Pizza Gaming says Spurs 4-2. I'm certainly going to go with Spurs to win that one. Sorry, Everton. I like both clubs. I probably prefer Everton, to be honest. But Leicester-Chelsea's interesting. Obviously, watched Leicester United before the international break. Wasn't massively impressed with Leicester, but another team that did very well against Arsenal, although they lost it. Leicester have only got 3 points themselves. Chelsea, to be honest, you know, they had 2 men sent off on the first game of the season and lost to Burnley, which, in fairness to Chelsea, I think you could describe that as a bit of a freak result. I think if you played Chelsea v Burnley 10 times, Chelsea would win at least 8. It was just one of those days, and they nearly got a point with 9 men. They've then gone on to beat Spurs. They won their last game as well. So Chelsea, they've beaten Chelsea and Spurs. Sorry, they've beaten Everton and Spurs, who funnily enough play each other at the weekend. Away to Leicester. Look, Leicester could win that game. They've got the players to do it, but are Chelsea now getting back into a groove? It's an important game for Chelsea to win because the Champions League starts in the week. That's going to be new to Chelsea. I think Chelsea are fine when they're playing 1 game a week. Are they going to be fine when they've got to play the European football? So I do fancy Chelsea to win this. Although, if you're a non-Chelsea fan, it's a good few points for them to drop. And Leicester probably do deserve to have more than 3 points from 9. Very, very good away to Arsenal on the opening day of the season, wasn't it? It was a Friday night kickoff. They do deserve more than 3 points. They probably do need to get at least a point at the weekend. But, unfortunately, Foxers, I think it will be a Chelsea win. I think they probably win that 3-1. I think once they get ahead, they'll hit them on the break. Red Prepper says it's a hard one, but Chelsea may just steal it. Leicester 0, Chelsea 2, says Fionn Curtin. 3-1 to Chelsea, says Ryan McSwiggan, which is what I'd said. Cal Davis, Mark, I'm sure you've seen from the United stand, but I think as we always struggle away to Stoke, I'm going for a 1-1 draw. A little bit premature, Cal Davies, a bit like Liverpool fans really, but we will come to that in a minute. Kane hat-trick, says Shazwat. Get Harry Kane in your team. United fan, and he's going to go Leicester 1, Chelsea 2. But Manchester United Fans TV says Leicester will win 1-0. Some cracking games. I mean, the Premier League's always exciting at the start, especially when the international break's been on. I've never watched Match of the Day so much, but we'll certainly be watching it at the weekend. So, Southampton, Watford. Southampton are doing okay, 5 points, a couple of draws and a win. Watford, what have Watford done so far this season? Again, both on 5 points. There's a lot of similar teams playing each other this weekend. Everton and Spurs, Liverpool and Man City, Southampton and Watford. Tough. Watford bought a lot of players that people don't know a lot about. Southampton, always a decent footballing side. I'm going to go for a draw in that one. I think a draw is probably the right sort of result, if I'm totally honest with you for that. Yeah, probably the least glamorous tie in a funny way. I think Brighton and West Brom's probably more appealing. But Sophie Richards said she'd love Huddersfield to win again. United versus Stoke. I've just done the match preview on our United channel, actually, the United stand. I went 2-0 for Manchester United. Very, very difficult game. United top of the league. Last season drew. Rooney broke the record with a last-minute free kick, stoppage time free kick. Hughes always gets his team up against Manchester United. I think Stoke are more physical than they have been for a couple of years. It'd be a physical game. I'd be interested to see how Mourinho lines up. I would expect he goes physical and plays the likes of Fellaini. But if United get 3 points, that's what it's all about. I think Mourinho's getting back into that groove that he used to have at Chelsea, where he highlights each game and plays each game for each game and tactically adapts, and I think he'll do that. So I'm going to go United 2-0. Very, very important that they win if they want to have a title challenge. These are the sort of games they've got to win. They've got a favourable, well, is there any such thing as a Premier League game that's easy? But they haven't got any of the big boys to play until October, so important that United do well in that game. Into the Sunday fixtures then. Not that glamorous on Sunday in relation to that's why Saturday is such a good day, because it's Champions League on Tuesday, Wednesday, so everyone's playing on Saturday. But we've got Burnley versus Crystal Palace, a must win game for Crystal Palace against Burnley, and Swansea Newcastle. Swansea against Newcastle and Burnley against Crystal Palace. I suggest Sunday is your family day. Don't waste your time watching too much football on then. I'm joking. No, I'm not. I'm not really. I mean, Crystal Palace, from a selfish Manchester United point of view, Fosu Mensah's on loan there, and he is playing a lot. And I think I would want definitely want Palace to get the points against Burnley. But Burnley at home, very, very good, and they've not had a bad start to the season. Burnley, 4 points from 9. A little bit unlucky themselves. Crystal Palace have 0 points. They need a point. I mean, we talk about West Ham in a minute, but Crystal Palace and De Boer, they need some points. Decent side Palace as well. It's just, I think, the change of formation, the change of footballing style, is it going to be suitable to the Premier League? De Boer went from Ajax very successfully to there, went to Inter, got the sack. Is it going to end up with the tin tack again at Crystal Palace? He needs points, and it's a massive game for Palace on Sunday. I think Burnley are going to win it just because form. I think they will. But Palace need the points. Swansea hosting Newcastle. Swansea 4 points. Newcastle have got 3 points. Swansea, Clement has got them set up very well. Renato Sanchez. That'll be an interesting game to watch for that reason. Renato Sanchez, one of the world's stars a year ago. United wanted him, went to Bayern Munich. Disastrous season. On loan with Paul Clement, who used to be the right-hand man of Ancelotti, so they've got a really good deal there. He set Stoke up very well. I think they do lack firepower, but they've brought in Wilfried Bony. I'm going to go Swansea to beat Newcastle. I think they need the points, and I'm not really convinced by. I don't really understand what Newcastle have done over the summer. Massive support. They get back in the Premier League. They bought a lot of players to do that in the Championship, and then in the Premier League they don't buy anyone. Typical, in my opinion on that is it's typical. Rich owners who spend the money to get you back where you're going to earn a lot of money, and then when you get back there you don't spend anything, you pocket the profits. Mike Ashley. Maybe I've got it wrong, I don't know. And then on Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football is massive. West Ham entertain Huddersfield. Huddersfield currently joint second in the league. They could have 10 points on Monday night. Probably still going to be in the top 4 if they do. West Ham absolutely cemented to the bottom of the league. They can't afford it. They cannot afford to lose that game. But Huddersfield, shocking everybody at the moment, 7 points from 3 games. I think West Ham are going to win this. West Ham have surely got enough quality. Saw them the opening game of the season against United. For 25 minutes they were okay, and then they got blown away. They've been pretty poor. And Bilic was somebody, as Sophie said a few minutes ago, who was under a little bit of pressure anyway. No points from 9. That'll do. That's only going to add to the pressure, and I can see that getting a lot worse if they don't beat Huddersfield at the weekend, on Monday night. Cracking set of games this weekend. Absolutely cracking. And not just because the international break's over, but because there are a lot of good games. So, yeah, West Ham versus Huddersfield. I'm going to go... I think West Ham will win that one. I think the Huddersfield bubble will burst. And I think Huddersfield, to be honest with you, great start to the season. They've got a striker who's quick, strong, and can put the ball in the back of the net, which in the Premier League is massively important. You look through the years, your Darren Bents, your Kevin Phillips, your Jermaine Defoe's at Sunderland. You know, these teams that are down the bottom end can stay up if they've got a striker who's like that. So he'll be invaluable to Huddersfield. I still think they'll be in a relegation battle. West Ham's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. Massive support, but another club, as we were talking about Spurs, who've gone to a ground that's going to make them a lot of money, but it's a ground that's not really conducive to a home football side. It's excuse me, I got a bit of a cough. It invites and ignites the opposition. You know, it's a great stadium to go and play in for the opposition, and they are inspired by it. And that is the problem that Spurs have got. Just going back, Wembley, if you're Burnley going to to Spurs like you did a couple of weeks ago, it's probably the only time you're going to go to Wembley. You know, you go to Wembley to play Spurs, but you treat it as a game at Wembley. It inspires you. That's very hard for teams like Spurs and West Ham to deal with when the opposition are coming to your ground and treating it as a cup final because of the great facilities you've got. Tube says like, share and subscribe. We've got 603 people watching, which is absolutely fantastic for a new channel. It's a generic channel. We do talk about everything really in football. We've got a show tomorrow morning which I think is going to be quite controversial, but we are going to do a Premier League preview every Wednesday night at 8:30, going through the Premier League fixtures for the weekend, because a lot of you asked us to do that. So make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner is the little That's Football icon. Click that, it will invite you to subscribe, which is free. Make sure you click the bell so you get notified every time we do a video. We are going to do live stuff on here. We're going to do Q&As and all sorts, but this is the first Premier League preview. We've only been up and running for about 6 days. There's a lot of content on there. This morning we did top 5 Premier League managers at the moment. Caused a little bit of controversy. I'm not going to give it away in case you haven't watched it, but Mark, would you start Rojo in our starting 11? I don't want to get into Manchester United too much because I do the United stand for that. This is going to be a generic channel and I want to, you know, whether you support Manchester United, a lot of you will, Arsenal, Liverpool, whoever you support, this is a football channel for us to generically talk about football. And I think this show's really good because I'm excited about the Premier League. I'm excited about our Premier League. I get a lot of stick for calling the French League a pub league, the German League a pub league and the Spanish League a pub league. There's some great teams in that league, but 80% of it is pub standard because you're going to beat them week in, week out. I'm very proud of our Premier League. I'm not saying we've got the best team in Europe in here, but we have got the best league in Europe because it is so competitive. I mean, we're getting excited about, you know, Huddersfield playing West Ham or West Brom away to Brighton because they might get 10 points. You know, you don't get that in other leagues. And our Championship is very good as well. We should be very proud of our Premier League. Whoever you support, we've got a fantastic league and it is very exciting. And I think Saturday is exciting. Liverpool going to City, Everton playing Spurs, Leicester entertain Chelsea, United at 5:30. Lots and lots of good games. In fact, I'm toying with the idea, let me know in the comments, I'm toying with the idea of doing a sort of watch along from 3 o'clock. I won't watch any particular game, but we'll just talk about the scores as they come in and that sort of thing. So I'm thinking about doing it. But we'll see what people think about it. But get involved, let everyone know, subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you're not watching live, get commenting below. Really want to see what your thoughts are. I mean, you don't have to give us your score predictions on all the games, but maybe comment on a couple of them, get the debate going, and enjoy it. Enjoy it. You wouldn't get excited for Getafe versus Espanyol at all, would you, Summer Breeze? That cures my point. Thanks for all the love in the comments. Liverpool versus Manchester City watch along, says Ian Smith. I don't know whether I can go that far. I mean, you know, I will be generic. I love talking about football. We're going to have a great time on this channel. We've got some other presenters and that maybe they want to do it. But I don't like Liverpool. I can't, you know, I love talking about football. I could even do an Arsenal watch along. But Liverpool's difficult because that is, I can't be professional with Liverpool. I don't like Liverpool. They've always been the big rival for me, and I don't know whether I could subjectively watch a Liverpool game and be professional. I don't know. We'll think about it. Somebody might get Xander to do it. But Arsenal's transfer window has been a disgrace, Wilson. Watch the show tomorrow morning. We're going to touch on that. Massive. It's going to be a very interesting video tomorrow morning. That will go up at 7 o'clock. Thanks everyone for watching. Really enjoyed this tonight. Lots of you getting involved in the channel, which is great. The viewing figures are brilliant. So make sure you subscribed. There will be daily content on here, sometimes 2 videos a day. If you love football, you're going to love That's Football. And I think we'll keep this. This is a keeper. I like the Premier League preview show. We are going to do a Champions League one, probably on Sunday. So we're not just going to be Premier League. We are, you know, I watch a lot of football, as do you lot. And we've got a watch along next week, actually. Next Wednesday night, Spurs versus Dortmund. Watch along. Put it in your diary. Thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all very soon. And yeah, have a good evening. If you've not watched the United Stand preview for United and you're a United fan, go and watch that. If you're not a United fan, go and watch the United Stand. Get involved. Speak to you all soon.